suggested multiple times getting the four of us that are against this thing in a room and maybe talk to the president, but for some reason our leadership has not thought that was a wise idea.
What's the difference between now and tonight that would make it different for you?
I'd just like some commitment to the future of spending, where we're going with this thing. It's just ridiculous.
Well, first of all, when you are trying to unwind 30 plus years of bad fiscal practice, you're not going to do it all at one time. I mean, that's just a reality, unless you make draconian cuts, right? And so I think part of this is working to bend the curve, stop the outrageous growth in spending that we saw under the Biden administration. $7 trillion in budget, $36 trillion in debt. Think about the fact that just 20 years ago we were in single-digit trillions when it came to our national debt. So we've added over 30 trillion in just 2 decades. That's not sustainable. We are going to work through the process. I've been very clear. I'm not cutting benefits to Medicaid recipients. The president's been very clear about that. But this process will play itself out.
When you look at the numbers, it's $30 to $50 billion a year, which could be close to $500 billion just in that realm to tackle that waste, fraud, and abuse. And if we make the program more efficient, we could actually make sure that the people who it's intended for are the recipients, our seniors, our developmentally disabled, other people with disabilities, and that's what my focus has been. And so we're still working through it, but I think that we're in a better place today than we were yesterday, let's put it that way. We want to make sure that we're doing things with a scalpel and not a sledgehammer. I've had concerns with what happened last week when the CDC saw this across the board cut, and it impacted the 9/11 first responders in my district because there were people eliminated for the World Trade Center health program and grants that were eliminated going to the FDNY for 9/11 illnesses. That is a perfect example of unintended consequences that can occur when you do things in a rash manner. And so we need to take our time, make sure it's done appropriately and right, and we're really rooting out the waste, fraud, the abuse, the mismanagement, the unnecessary overhead, and not hurting people who truly rely on these programs.